Hi guys, Fonzie here from GM Motorsport Australia Speed. What I've got here today is our Stage 6 package, our ST camshaft. So this works with no converter. It's probably one of the cams that makes the most power combined with our heads without the use of a stall converter. So it saves money and saves wear and tear on the transmission. Our famous CNC heads, these have won many Australian championships, world championships. They are world class cylinder head. They're done all here in-house. We have our own Central A560XL. We have the biggest one in the Southern Hemisphere doing 4 heads at once. High velocity exhaust port as well. And we do have a Trunnion 5-axis valve seat cutter. So the exhaust here is done. It's a full radius, so it's pretty cool as well. So it's like superbike technology. The intake has a 5-angle job that's blended. Everything's checked. If anything needs to be hand done or touched, quality control goes through it. But yeah, a good piece, well worth GM Motorsport. We even have these around in private labels as well for many other workshops. So they might have someone else's name, but there's a fair amount of shops using GM Motorsport CNC heads. We're okay with that. So you might see a different brand on the front. There's a good chance it might be our CNC head because it does make the right power. We offer great service, 48 hours turnaround now. They're all done. Now, what's pretty cool, this customer, like many of our customers, he wants everything right, so we've done the recipe before, so he ticked the option. So instead of just going the 1 3/4, he's went out cool triple step. These things are an unbelievable thing that I designed many years ago. Even got Australian design reg on them. So basically, that's me with my phone. So it's 1 3/4, see the lovely Ramjet logo, and then it's stepped to 1 7/8, then to 2-inch. It's the only header available for a Commodore that's triple stepped and comes out with a 2-inch primary. So people go, oh, it's only 1 3/4 here. Believe me, this on the flow bench and on the dyno makes more power than just a single stage 2. It's about velocity and the velocity and the energy from that exhaust port. Okay, we don't want to lose that by putting a gaping big 2-inch pipe on there. We have a set of 1 3/4. You will see some of my other videos where I actually show you a 2-inch pipe on the flow bench versus 1 3/4, 1 7/8 to 2-inch. That actually flows more and more velocity than just one big 2-inch pipe. So it's pretty cool. So the customers upgraded to them. We sell a lot of these. Now it's got a race collector spike in there as well. 3.5-inch exit. Normally I don't do that, but what the reason is, on these road cars, they're not race cars completely. We have a catalytic converter, so I designed that in a lot of dyno testing and flow testing to make sure that we had good, basically flow point to the cells. So the cells are all straight, you can imagine. So what happens is if you bring this down, I should have brought a cat over, basically if it's small, the air won't flow like that because the cat substrate is all straight. So that's why it has this big entry point to get the most chance to see the straight substrates to basically get the flow through. So that's a bit of an insight on our triple step why it's pretty cool. He's also went with the Trunnion upgrade, so which we do agree. We have 2 different styles. That's like a Smith bush one. We also have the bearing one. Bearing one makes a little bit more power, but you know, still prone to possibly having some failures. If this fails, it's not as bad and detrimental. People like either one, we sell either one. PSI, we're one of only few PSI dealers in Australia. I've been PSI dealer for 15, 20 years. Trusted PSI 1511 ml. We don't use rubbish springs, we use good springs. They have a good, not just the pressure, giving away a few tips here, it's about your frequency rate, it's not just about your pressures. I know a lot of other people sell cams on the market. You've got to look at their credentials. Guys, you know, I've won world titles, I've designed engines, the world's biggest engines and everything else. There's a lot in valve springs and there's a lot in camshaft manufacturing designing. We're right up in that pinnacle. That's what I am. I'm an engine builder that's built some of the wildest, most powerful things, biggest things that have won a lot of titles as well. So I design and engineer that. So basically, you know, I'm not just someone's decided to flop a camshaft and sell it out. I've got real world experience tuning, dynoing and engine building, and you get the lot with me. Then that's behind GM Motorsport, Australia Speed. Okay, moving on to that, we've got the Cloys timing set. So basically what that is a genuine USA product. Pretty cool. That's a Z chain. I use that on our Jet Sprint race motors. We use that on a lot of things, so I prefer that than a double row. There is some double row now that come out all right, but 10 years ago, a lot of the double rows had missed pitch alignment and they actually didn't work very well. So the Trusted Cloys one is one of my go-to timing chains. Haven't broken one yet, so pretty cool. Melling's oil pump as well. We use a few different versions. We also use a 295 Copo. So yeah, there can be a different spring and different volume rates of that. So this guy's went all out. He's got our Ramjet 3, which is biggest filter area of anything that is out there. He has our ASP leads. They are ultra low resistance, 30 ohms per foot. So yeah, you can test it with a multimeter to confirm that compared to other ones. And then he went all out. He went crazy. So this is our CNC intake. So not only is it CNC ported in here to match the cylinder head, okay, it has radius rods. What radius rods are is they basically go through and they're like a bell mouth to a trumpet. It's like a sprint car. So basically what we do is instead of being a sharp edge, it now has a radius roll in for a trumpet. So it makes it similar to some of the really good aftermarket. These are hard to beat because the standard is so good at making the best average power and best average torque. So when you give it a little tickle up, especially with the radius rods, and basically as well, this one hasn't got it. We have a plenum booster as well. So basically we take the posts out on the naturally aspirated ones. That gives you more volume in there for the manifold. So plenum volume is critical. For the boost ones, we don't do it because it takes away the integrity too much on that. So that's a bit of a insight to our manifolds. So there's a couple of people that offer them in the world. I think 2 companies. We're definitely the only one here on the Southern Hemisphere. They're pretty cool and they do make power, especially if you're searching for that last little bit. The best thing about it, you don't have to buy the expensive throttle body that goes with it. It fits your normal air intake. So, there's a lot of other things out there on the market that just don't work. We do the standard one with a CNC intake. So guys, that's a bit of our introduction to our stage 6. He's went crazy, wild. Obviously loves his car, so what we'll do is a second video on the car when we run it. This thing will be quite potent with basically the CNC heads, the ST, all these goodies. We could expect 340 rear wheel kilowatts, depending on his tyre and everything else on the car. So guys, that's an insight to stage 6. If you're looking at it, you don't have to go all the extra options, but it gives you a few extra kilowatts. It gives the guys extra peace of mind basically for their car and their engine. It's going to, you give it the right parts and you get the right results and you get the reliability out of it. So yeah, that's a wrap up on that. Next part will be on the dyno, making some power.
Drinking haze off. Is it the other way? Is it the other way?
Hi guys, so following on from our package, here's our dyno result. 346 rear wheel kilowatts, nearly 350. Pretty good effort with standard stall auto, and these Club Sports also come out with the higher diff ratio. They don't come out with the 2.9s or the 307s. It's 327s, I think, from memory. So basically that's a really good result. Shows you that the CNC manifold, CNC heads and the little ST cam that works with the standard converter and the auto is basically something that can compete with the bigger cams, but you can use it every day for driving. So it's sort of a stealthy thing, and that's what the cam's named, to basically be able to drive it, have a lot of power, usable, some fuel economy, and not go to the expense of the stall or the extra stress on the auto. So guys, that's a bit of a tech to wrap up on this stage, the hamburger of the lot. I'm sure he's going to be very wrapped with the outcome of what we've got. If you've got one of these 6.2s, we'd recommend this kit, and we can make it, spruce it up and have a new lease of life on your HSV or your Holden. Thanks guys.